Hey folks, welcome to another video. As you can see from the title here, I've got a ZT-0350 inside this package here. It just came in the mail. And this comes from a friend from Instagram whose screen name on there, his profile name is GMRPNK21. And he actually, wow, I didn't know it was going to have the box. It's actually got the factory box with it. I figured it was just going to be the knife by itself. I knew it was in a box, obviously, but I didn't know it was going to be the original box for the knife. Very cool. He posted up that he wanted to get a little bit of cash to purchase a Spyderco Southern. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And he posted this up for a really nice price, and I jumped at the opportunity after a little bit of thinking. Took me a little bit of, oh, check that out. He did mention that there would be a little surprise in there. That's awesome. A little skull lanyard, some paracord, some kind of a neon green, and then I can't make out the other color in this light. It's either a really dark green or like a dark gray. I don't think it's just black. Very cool. And that big skull. Nice little bonus. Thanks very much for that. I really appreciate it. I did not know. He mentioned there being a little surprise, but I didn't know what it was going to be. And that's super cool. I got to find something to put that on right away. So thank you for the little bonus. Now I'll get back into the knife itself. So yeah, he offered a really nice price on it. And this is another knife. I'm kind of on this kick lately. That some of you saw my Mini Commander video that I purchased this from Swiss Army Zippo from YouTube. My interest, what appeals to me in a knife changes over time. And historically, if you look through my channel, and especially if you watch some of my older videos, the more tactical designs do appeal to me. I don't carry them for self-defense purposes or for any sort of tactical purposes. I just like some of the aggressive styling, some of the aggressive lines. And there's a lot of features on tactical knives, like the finger choil, or there may be some sort of like a hand guard or a groove in different places. They're just good to have just as safety features for regular cutting tasks, just for everyday use. So some of those kind of fall into both categories. You could say it was tactical, or you could just say it's a nice little extra feature. The other thing that's really popular these days, at least the last few years, is that with tactical knives, they're making them bigger and bigger. The knives are really big and thick and chunky, and that is in fact where wow, I'm saying a lot of uhs today, aren't I? That is in fact where zero tolerance comes into play. This is a division of Kai knives, kind of along with Kershaw, made in USA. You can see they're American built. And they're sort of overbuilt knives. You'll hear that term a lot referring to tactical knives, that they're really thick, and sometimes they can be a little bit weighty, a little bit heavy by most folks' standards. And they're designed, to take some abuse, to take a little bit of a beating, to take some hard use. So they would, very often, most of these hard use, overbuilt tactical knives are good for outdoors activities. And I think this one falls into that category. Right off the bat, it's pretty hefty. I think this is, forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, I think this is 6.2 ounces. Now, there are two things that, I'm going to say it before anyone posts a comment on it right away. Two things about this knife that would probably lead some people to suspect that I wouldn't purchase it. I've mentioned in the past that I'm not a very big fan of flippers, and I'm also not a very big fan of assisted openers anymore these days. And that is still true. That comes out quick and with authority. Very comfortable. But like I said, my tastes change over time, and so right now I'm just kind of in a mood to try out some of the knives from years past that I just hadn't got a chance to try, or I kind of poo-pooed them in the past. Something to where I just decided I wasn't gonna try it right now, and then some time has passed, and some of these, just like that Emerson, the Mini Commander, I'm just kind of going back in and saying, you know what, let me give that a try. And I've been really happy with this knife. The little wave, I'll get into it in a full review. The little wave feature isn't as much of a nuisance as I thought it might be, so I'm happily carrying that, and I just don't really use the wave, but I just use the thumb disc to open it. And that's been working out good. So this was one of those knives that historically I probably wouldn't have purchased it, but just lately I'm just kind of getting in a different mood for a different type of knife, and so I tried that one, and now I'm trying this one. I'm very happy with it. Just my immediate gut reaction absolutely solid in both directions, as it was told to me. There's no play in either direction. Some nice lock up there. Let me zoom that in a little bit so you can see for those of you interested. Very thick liners. I don't know the thickness exactly, but they're pretty beefy compared to your average liner lock. And a decently thick blade. If I had to guess, I mean, just a total shot in the dark, I'd say maybe 2.5 to 3 millimeters in thickness. And it's got that. This is a Ken Onion design, or at least he definitely had a hand in its design. You can see it's exhibiting that wonderful sort of wavy recurve that is so common in a lot of his designs. This knife was well taken care of, so that makes me even more excited that I got such a good price on it. That's in beautiful shape. Just a hint of wear on the clip and on the blade, as was mentioned, but other than that, it's in fantastic condition. One of the things I was worried about with this knife was that the grip was going to be too small for the size of the blade, and it's not. You can see I can get all 4 fingers there. There is a little bit of a thumb ramp here, and if you've seen any of my older videos, you've probably heard me complain more than once that I actually like this portion of the knife to be flat. And that hasn't changed, but some knives you can get used to it, some knives you can ignore it. And this one, it's so gently pronounced at the back that I can actually place my thumb right there without any real discomfort, which is cool. So I can actually kind of perch the meat of my thumb on that little peak at the back of the knife, and it's not jabbing me in any way that's really bothersome. That is a liner lock, as I showed you before. I believe the blade, let me see if it says on here, it is S30V, I think. It does not say on the blade, but I'm pretty confident that that is indeed the blade steel. And something that I read that also made me interested in trying this is that folks had said that the assisted open feature on here wasn't too aggressive on closure. So when you go to put the blade away, you weren't really having to fight that assisted open spring, and I'd say that's true. I think just the length and the weight of the blade makes it to where it's not too hard overcoming that torsion bar. Snaps out quickly, locks up nice. Flipper doesn't stick out too much. One of the things I don't like is when the flipper is really pointy at the end, or it just really waggling out the back of the blade. This one's not too bad. I'm going to show you folks a knife that I'm guessing a lot of you probably thought that I either sold or traded away, and I intended to, and I'm just going to put it here for comparison. That is the Zero Tolerance 0560. I put up a video of this months ago. I don't know how long ago. Maybe it was 4, 5, 6 months ago, maybe even longer. I got this in. I carried it for probably 2 days, and I don't like it. It's comfortable. It's a good size. There's just something, sometimes you run into a knife that you just don't like. For some reason, and this is going to sound weird because look at those flippers, how similar they are. For some reason, one of the things that I really don't like about this knife is the flipper. It seems like it sticks out too far. It seems too pointy. To push it, it just seems like I'm hitting it. Like my finger's hitting it in an annoying spot. So I don't know what it is. The lockup's nice. It's solid in all directions. It's not too thick. It's a great size. I love the blades that are close to 4 inches, so I don't really have any problems with the size overall. There's just something about this knife that I don't like, and I will sell or trade this away. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I thought it was kind of convenient for this video, so I could show you a little size comparison for anyone that was interested. The 350 here and the 0560 above it. And one other comparison that I thought I'd put in this video, I'm going to try and keep this under 10 minutes, is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Which is another popular choice. So these two blades, and I'm kind of peeking over the viewfinder here. Cat's knocking something on the ground. These two blades are pretty similar in overall size. You can see that the handle on the Spyderco Paramilitary is longer, but the overall blade, at least the amount of blade that you're going to get, considering that recurve, is pretty similar between the two. But the ZT weighs a whole heck of a lot more. You can see the difference between the the thin little nested liners on the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 versus the full liners. I don't know if they're skeletonized. I'm kind of peeking in there. No, those are solid. So we just got full slabs of steel in there for the liners. There's a little thickness comparison there. It's a little bit thicker. Excellent feel, at least in my hand. That feels very comfortable. I really like it. This is not a deep carry knife, as you can see. A bit of this is going to be showing in your pocket, but I don't think that's going to be any sort of problem. I've never had a problem with that in the past, versus the 560 here, which is a deep carry clip. So that one just about sinks all the way down in your pocket. I don't know what it is about that one. I just don't like it. So that is the ZT Zero Tolerance 0350. And that came from that really good friend, GMRPNK21 on Instagram. Thank you again so much for the great deal, the fast shipping, and for that awesome little bonus, that little paracord skull key fob thing there, zipper pull. I'm going to put that on something right away. So thanks very much for sending me the knife. Thanks to everyone who's watching, and I'll come back at you in the future and I'll definitely let you know my thoughts on this knife. Don't know if I'll have a full review, but it'll show up in an EDC video or something so you can kind of get a feel for how it's working out for me if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.